gonna be honest, I didn't exactly enjoy the previous official Supercross game from Milestone. Perhaps because I played the PlayStation 4 version instead of the better one available for PC. And Monster Energy Supercross 2 from 2019 offered me a more immersive and, above all, extremely fun experience. But what about this new entry in the series? Let's find out. Inevitably comparing it to last year's game, the third in the series, several novelties were introduced. A totally revised career mode is now available with more than 20 official teams and a new skill tree character development, which, by the way, makes us feel like the greatest of noobs in these sort of things, even already being vaccinated with the previous games of the franchise. At the start of the races, we can even manage to position ourselves in front of the pack, but just a slight push from one of our opponents, a fall that could have been perfectly avoided, or simply a poorly calculated jump, causes despair and frustration that takes control over ourselves, sending us to the last places. It is imperative to take into account that this is a very physical and high-contact sport, in part due to the own nature of the tracks where all this frantic action takes place. Obviously that in career mode, we start from scratch as a fairly inexperienced rider and in a team with scarce resources. As we complete events, even finishing last in all of them, we gain skill points that are extremely useful to evolve the most varied aspects of piloting. Venturing in special events, completing specific trainings and fulfilling the constant objectives of the journal are other ways to obtain those skill points. The goal is to reach the prestigious 450 SX class, and along this route we will face the largest number of professional riders ever present in this franchise, more than 100, and where by request from the community we can also play as Ken Roczen, nowadays considered as one of the best riders in the Queen class of Supercross. With regard to the number of tracks available, Supercross 4 offers all 11 stadiums and 17 tracks from the 2020 season, which also includes the 7 Salt Lake City variants. As stated earlier, the route to be champion is long, steep and packed with obstacles. Our career begins in the brand new starting class entitled Supercross Futures, and each rider's performance is affected by their own skill, dexterity and perseverance. To improve these very important aspects, we need, of course, to achieve such skill points. Supercross 4 also brings a more advanced and intuitive track editor with new modules, as well as additional cosmetic customization options that allows us to express our creativity and subsequently share with the community. These modules were built directly from the official tracks present in the 2020 championship, and among them we'll find the start line and finish line structures. Also present is a new compound, a kind of amusement park for motorcycle freaks, which allows free exploration along with up to 3 other friends, a beautiful location inspired by the islands of Maine in the region of New England, USA. 1 MX and 4 SX tracks can also be explored and enjoyed at this adrenaline-fueled testing and training site, as well as a variety of challenges and collectibles that unlock additional equipment. Speaking of additional equipment, more than 110 official brands of visual and performance items are waiting to be used and abused for both riders and motorcycles, from complete suits, boots, glasses, helmets and neck braces to suspensions, rims, exhausts, tires, brakes, handlebars, saddles, rear sprockets, hand grips and hand guards. Online mode is always welcome in this type of games, although when this review was put together, the servers were always empty. However, the promise of pure multiplayer fun is something to take into account, with exclusively dedicated Amazon servers, as these tracks with real riders going through them and with all the detail and information to be processed makes the whole experience addictive for those who play and demanding for the service provider. A Race Director mode is also promised for after the game's final release on March 11. Traditionally, in these games, there are always other ways to pick and play immediately, without the need to create a pilot and to subject himself to a long and painful career in this branch of motorsport. Single event and championship are also available, where we can jump right away to the upper classes and choose one of the many official riders and teams of the 2020 season, immediately starting this adventure without worrying about skill points, with the need for upgrades to the rider and the bike, with training sessions and special events, and with everything else mentioned prior. It is the fastest and most effective way to get to know the tracks and their traps. Sounds and music follows the same path of previous installments, and the rider response and the feedback it transmits us is pretty damn good, excluding a few awkward movements after some sporadically tight maneuvers. Something I noticed and even missed was the lack of dynamic weather effects, particularly with regard to rain during the event. I missed it because I've always been an expert rider in these most adverse conditions, whether it's motorcycle or car games. Don't get me wrong, mud and water on the track are a constant, but that rain pouring down, so common in previous titles of the series and also on Milestone's MXGP franchise, was something I experienced less than expected during all the races I did for this review. Was it due to feedback from players regarding the previous title, who complained about the exaggerated number of races they were forced to finish under such harsh conditions? We're not facing at all a casual game for casual players, so I strongly recommend Monster Energy Supercross 4 solely to all fans of this particular form of motorsport. Keep also into account that this review was carried out based on the PC version of the game. And I truly believe that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions are identical, running at 60 frames per second and with the same level of graphical detail. For previous generation consoles, the PS4 and Xbox One, and given the disaster that was Supercross 3 on those systems, their respective versions are discouraged. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in my next video. Cheers!